Welcome to another Outer Inner Space transmission. This video is one of 4 in a mini-series which we're talking about how to draw upon the energies of your natal chart through each of the menstrual phases. So this mini-series is designed to explore the interconnectedness of these natural rhythms and these cycles within cycles, and how all these concepts can tie together and provide you with different perspectives of timing and this idea that there is a time for everything if we allow nature to run her course. This video is about the menstruation phase and where you can look to your natal chart to optimize this phase. So after many cycles of tracking and a lot of research, I've really come to love the menstruation phase because it allows me to do something which I've been deeply conditioned to never do, which is rest and receive. In the library, in the very first section, Goddess, I talk about this time where women honoured this period of the month, pun intended, and in sync they gathered, and this collective consciousness enabled them to see beyond the veil and access insights and downloads which would help their community and their families and their own evolution. And not just that, but process and release a lot of what no longer serves them with their bleed. I feel like the menstruation phase really does give us an access point into other timelines and other dimensions. We're being directed to certain areas of the body at this point, and it really does take us out of overthinking if we're able to tune into these certain areas of the body and the messages that's being signaled there. So there is certainly a first house influence in that respect, but what I'm going to focus on in this video is looking at the water houses in our natal chart, the 4th, 8th and 12th house, because of this psychic aspect, because of this need to go within and be still and be at home with ourselves so we can receive these insights in a way that's so much deeper and so much more pervasive in a way than just reading or having a thought. Like, this is a real body experience, and the body is in many ways the unconscious, and this is why the menstruation phase holds so much potential for us to really transform these stored body patterns and these cellular memories and what is stored in our energy field and our emotional bodies too. We're so susceptible to these states of knowing, and if we do slow down, we're able to tap into these altered dimensions, the realm of subtle senses, where we can receive direction or just clarity, or we're able to transmute these old processes, these patterns which we don't want to carry forward anymore, and we can release them with intention through our bleed. I know it's not always accessible to everybody because of family commitments, work commitments, but the more you rest and the more you can slow down your energy during menstruation, the more these visions and these knowings can emerge, the more you can develop a relationship with the body and start to see that it is always transmitting information to you. But to access these subtle senses, it requires space in your consciousness, space in your own energy field, and space in the body. I write this a lot throughout the library. The keys to your expansion are in the areas you're holding. We tend to tense up certain areas of the body where these memories are stored and resist the pain and resist going there. And there can be areas of numbness where you just don't feel what it is that's there, and that's very 8th house energy, is that there's this pattern within you but you're not fully conscious of why. And symptoms of premenstrual tension and cramps can be pointing you to the areas of the body where these patterns lie. All those areas want is attention and for you to feel them. And because we're so embodied during menstruation, we can give ourselves that attention with a bit of intention and self-inquiry, which is all these patterns are asking for. And surrendering into it and not holding these areas can really free up so much in terms of energetic blockages. And this transfers into your outer experience and creative freedom as you move through the cycles and beyond into future cycles. You can spiral up with each cycle, letting go of these things and tuning more to your authentic nature and your authentic timing without having these old patterns influencing your operating system. So with the fourth house, this would be taking time at home to slow down and really look at what would make you comfortable at this time, what would bring you a sense of nurturing. Listening to what your emotions are telling you, like just letting that energy flow, allowing yourself to cry if you need to, allowing yourself to really just be in your shell for this period because it's such an internal experience. You might have memories of these early childhood experiences where you weren't nurtured, or these past relationships which really kind of affected your emotional body, and that still lingers within you. And these kinds of memories and patterns and insights can really come to the fore during this time because it's an opportunity to release. With 8th house energy, you can notice where any tension in the body, these numb areas, this really deep core wounding is inhibiting you. If any resentments come up, if any fears of intimacy, even just having this intimate moment with yourself where you're acknowledging this pain, it really can pay off for you if you surrender into it and just allow your body to transmute this energy. And that's exactly what's happening as you bleed, is that you're shedding, you're releasing, you're transforming. And it just takes a little bit of intention and the possibility that you can release these patterns as you bleed. That will do that 8th house to 9th house liberation thing where you're not carrying that anymore. You don't need that to weigh you down anymore. You can let it go. And then you kind of start to see the incredible power that you have as a woman and that the menstrual phases offer you, because it really is a cyclic and spiraling process that allows you to evolve with each cycle. And with the 12th house, again, this is about these imaginations and accessing these alpha theta brainwaves, these states of being where we're seeing more in pictures, in glimpses, we're susceptible to these states of knowing. We can see beyond the veil and receive solutions and alternate ways of seeing situations which have been plaguing us. And these visions can really help us and help us access more of our extrasensory perceptions and our creative capacity too. This idea of surrender, resting as much as you can during menstruation is going to change the whole dynamic of how you operate in the world. Just knowing that there is this portion of your cycle, and if you are busy, just taking a dedicated block of time, especially on day one if you can, just to honor the fact that you're going to be going through a really significant situation as you let go. It's when you pay attention to this experience and not try to force your way through it as if it was an inconvenience that our rhythm adjusts, our timing adjusts, our whole reality of what it means to be a creative individual adjusts. And there's so much power in that. So the library offers a bunch of energetic practices too, which can help during this phase and all the other phases really, which honestly they look a lot like not much, but it is in these dark and void spaces, in these little details, and in this acknowledgement that there's something bigger going on where the sparks of creative potential can truly begin. And to me, that's exactly what the menstrual phases are all about. So if you're interested, the first 6 sections of the library are free to read before you make any investments, just to make sure it is something that you might like to invest in. But otherwise, do check out the other videos in this playlist, because they will also glean some information of how you can tune to your menstrual cycle using your natal astrology. So I hope you found some value in this, and I wish you well.